Welcome to Knowledge for the Soul, the podcast where we dive deep into the different topics of health and we connect them to the physical, psychological, and spiritual aspects of life. The goal of this podcast is to provide you with the knowledge to do your best. I'm your host, Aaron Harris, and today we are tackling a powerhouse topic: accountability. But we're not just stopping at personal accountability. And as usual, we'll be connecting this topic to our physical health, our psychological well-being, and even our spiritual journey. If you've ever wondered why sticking to that gym routine, for example, feels like a struggle, there could be some insight in this podcast that can help you out in terms of owning your choices and leading to an actual change that stays. But we're not going to be talking about this alone. I have one of my great friends, Chalk or Khaleel, here with us to talk a little bit more about the topic. He's also the host of a podcast of his own called It's a Clown World. Chalk, how you doing today? Thank you for being here.
Glad to be here, man. How you been?
I've been pretty good. Actually, this last week or so, accountability has been something that's been in our mind, in my mind, I should say. I've been thinking about it long and hard, thinking about the different elements and the different, particulars of it. And I want to start by defining what accountability is. Accountability is about owning your actions, your decisions, and their outcomes. What's your take on accountability and the definition?
Yeah. First off, let me get started real quick. Again, this is my real name's Khaleel. Like Superman. Chalk. That's what they call me for short, because a lot of people can't pronounce my name. But accountability for me, man, not for me, but because I don't like to go by what I think. I usually like to go by the actual definition of the words. And accountability is like kryptonite for most people, to me, because most people don't want to be accountable for their own actions if their actions don't benefit them.
That's true.
So that's just the way I look at accountability, because, you know, I got to look at things from my perspective.
Yeah, definitely. And I always like that and appreciate about that about you, how you take a step outside and you look at things and you try to see what they are for what they are, and not allow your biases to be too intertwined, because that can blind you or blind others when they think this way from accountability. And I love exactly what you're saying, that it's like kryptonite, because as a matter of fact, it is really. And I think that's because people look at it as blame when it comes to looking at their own actions, where they fell short, thinking like that. People often connect it to blame. And who wants to blame themselves for anything or be blamed by other people for anything?
Right. But see, that's why I say that it's only if it benefits you. Because if it, I mean, if only if it doesn't benefit you. If it benefits you, you want to be accountable for it. You want to take credibility for everything if it benefits you. But if it doesn't benefit you, then it's a problem. And nobody wants to be accountable for the problems if people know they're the cause of the problem.
Yeah, that's 100% true. When you're truly accountable, you stop making excuses. You start making progress. And accountability, in a nuanced or multifaceted sense, is the dynamic interplay of self-imposed and externally reinforced obligations to acknowledge, own, and act upon your own decisions and the consequences of those actions.
100%. See, now
Yes.
and these is what I mean by going by definition. A lot of people don't want to hear that. They don't want to go by the definition because it hurts their feelings, and it's not it's not what you say, it's how you say it. But my thing is, if you're getting the point across, it doesn't matter how I'm saying it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay,
Right.
that's all
Exactly.
I mean. We gotta go by definitions, folks.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think accountability as we've already iterated, is one of the big topics that people are challenged with today, especially here in America, which is why I feel like this podcast in particular is special and has a lot of value to those who take the time to listen and get some of this knowledge that we have for their souls. What I love about
America.
Maybe the world, right? Maybe the world.
That's, but mostly America.
I agree. We have some serious issues here with our ego and accountability here in America. I mean, I can vouch for that for sure. I co-sign that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Can't do no wrong if you ask Americans, but yeah, that's another story. I don't play here, you know. I'm one of them. Don't you guys worry.
Hey,
Talking about myself too.
I
In
like
some situations.
True. I mean, I'm not innocent either. I love to be right, but at the same time, when confronted with new information or with a perspective that counteracts my own, I'm able to take a step back finally after being stubborn, probably, and say, you know what, I need to be accountable here, and I need to think about my perspective and how I'm playing my part in things, and make some acknowledgments and changes. And I feel like accountability, what makes it special more than just answering for something, is it involves a proactive commitment to align your actions with your intentions, your values, and your societal expectations, while navigating tensions between autonomy and interdependence.
Yeah, I mean, again, definitions are key, man. Right. I just want people to be accountable for their actions. I hold people accountable for all their own actions. I'm not talking about children because children have someone accountable for their actions, their parents.
Yeah.
But grown people, I hold accountable for all their own actions. If somebody's got a gun to your head, then you're being forced to do these actions. So
Yeah.
if it's your own free will, I hold you accountable for your own actions. I don't like when people will tell me, "Oh, she made me do it. He made me do it." How
Mm-hmm.
did they make you do it? It's just the way they talk to me. That's what
Yeah.
I mean, folks. You gotta stop just feeding into the bullshit.
Yep. Chalk is 100%
The
right.
bullshit.
Exactly. The bullshit. He's absolutely right. And the thing about that is, not only does accountability benefit society as a whole and those that you care about when you're accountable, it benefits yourself, right? So why not be accountable? Why not take the steps to be accountable? And if you're somebody who struggles with accountability, which I agree with Chalk here, that a lot of people struggle with accountability. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about how you can work towards being a more accountable person. Definitely, what I want to segue into is how accountability ties into psychological health. And let's talk about what it is also from the psychological aspect here. So it involves a metacognitive awareness of an individual's capacity to reflect on their choices, and it allows them to adjust their behaviors and mitigate what's called cognitive dissonance. It's rooted in self-efficacy. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, hold on. I
No,
like how
good.
you say that metacognitive, man. Say that, man. Nobody say that metacognitive like you say that metacognitive, bro. Go ahead, though, man. My bad.
No,
It's like that.
you're good. I like to use different words. It's fun for me. And so we use these reflections to adjust our behaviors and mitigate what's called cognitive dissonance. And I encourage those of you who aren't aware of the definition to look into that independently of this podcast. And accountability from the psychological perspective involves self-efficacy and a belief. You have to have a self-belief that you have the ability to change. And it also requires that you have a certain sense of humility so that you're able to recognize and learn from your failures without deflecting responsibility onto external factors.
Damn, man. That's, again, those are the definitions. It's, the real definitions, but it's exactly how I feel because I'm one of those people that go based off definition. But that's what I mean by
Yeah.
accountability.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's just another definition. Uh, that was a way I was able to connect that from more of the psychology and socially is another aspect here where accountability operates within relational frameworks. Accountability involves trust, mutual expectations, and it binds individuals to the collectives such as families, workplaces, communities. It really goes full circle.
Yeah, the only thing missing in that is we got to remember it can do these things because a lot of people don't like accountability. It's kryptonite. It can do these things,
Right,
but hey,
right.
if you're not accountable for your action, you'll never know.
Yes, absolutely. Like he was saying, you're not going to have these impacts of trust and mutual collectiveness if you're not fulfilling your explicit commitments or upholding your implicit contracts. Things like ethical conduct, cultural norms, and these, of course, vary across cultural contexts and require sensitivity to power dynamics and things like social consequences as well.
Cultural norms, America, people, America.
Man, I love it. I
Sorry.
love it. No, I don't need to apologize at all. I love this spin
Yeah,
on the
I'm
podcast.
sorry,
I
man.
love it. I love it.
Modern world, Western society.
Yes. And you guys have to
Okay, I'm
check
sorry. Go on.
out. Check out It's a Clown World. Definitely, you're gonna get more of this, and I look forward to being on your podcast and your conversational format as well. It's gonna be a lot of fun. One
Yeah,
thing,
man.
yeah,
Can't wait to have you.
exciting stuff for sure. Moving on to ethically, when it comes to accountability, what's your take on accountability and how it ties into ethics?
Ethics and accountability does not exist in America, people. No, I'm joking. Uh, no, but for me, it's a rare thing to see. I mean, people are not ethical nowadays. Everything's all more about, like I said earlier, it's feelings over facts. Don't say that because the old saying. What did they used to tell you growing up? If you don't got something nice to say, don't say it. That's not real, I mean,
Yeah,
if you don't got something nice to say and you never say it, how in the hell is anyone to know when they're doing anything wrong? It doesn't make sense. I don't use these made up shits because they got to make sense. You know what I mean? But
right.
anyway, people don't really live ethical, if you ask me. Not for the majority, 'cause I speak in general. So, for the
Yeah.
most part, no. It's ethics to me. It's rare here in America. Um,
Yeah. I 100% agree that it's quite rare here in the United States. I think there's a lot of reasons for that. It's certainly a multifaceted issue, but bottom line, a lot of individuals here in the US are just simply not ethical. And the thing about lacking ethicality is that accountability is based on, in part, due to a moral stance. It's an internal compass that guides one to act with integrity, even when nobody's watching, and acknowledging the ripple effects of their actions on others in their environment. And it involves navigating complex trade-offs, such as balancing personal desires against collective well-being for short-term gains and against long-term sustainability. And if only we were more ethical in America.
in America, but we won't be. You
Right.
know what I mean? Money rules America. That's not ethical. You know what I mean? The culture rules America. That's not ethical. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
hey, who am I? I'm just some guy.
Exactly. We're such a small piece in such a large picture, but I do agree that money dictates so much of people's morality here in America. And then our culture uh, also dictates a lot of what we value, what we think is ethical, which a lot of it just simply does not meet the definition. And I think that's what's really cool about your platform, It's a Clown World, is that you talk about the definition and you address a lot of the many issues of subversion, because people are changing the very definitions of words to fit their narrative.
100%, man. They got an agenda to push, and they push it well. You know what I mean? They've changed the whole dictionary around every dictionary. If you ask someone to tell you the definition of delusional, because they don't want to hurt someone's feelings. They don't want to say these people are delusional, so they don't want to hurt their feelings. When it just means, hey, you're not operating in the objective reality for the majority of people. And the majority runs the world. You know what I mean? There's stairs everywhere because most people have legs. There's not elevators everywhere, but there's stairs. You can find some stairs. You know what I mean? There's a
Yeah,
majority of parking spots that are not handicapped because the majority of people are not handicapped. This is just reality, folks. It's not, I'm not saying these things because I'm a bad guy. I'm just a bad guy for you because you don't want to hear it. It hurts your feelings. But it's reality. It's
that's
not
true.
bad to live in reality. When you don't live in reality, you are delusional by definition. That's it. That's all I'm saying. So,
That's true. Yeah, accountability definitely requires for you to be able to step outside of your own ego and your own delusions and see things for what they are, not as how you want them to be. And I feel like
words have meaning.
they 100% do.
Words have meaning, folks. Words have meaning, people. Stop. They don't mean whatever the hell you want them to mean because you feel like they should mean that. They actually already have a meaning before you even existed. You can't just come making them mean what you feel like they should mean because the other way hurts your feelings. That's not reality. That's delusion.
True.
Delusional.
Don't be delusional. And I feel like a good way to talk about how accountability affects individuals on a physical level is through the example of promising yourself that you'll hit the gym 3 times a week. Right? A lot of individuals, and you know what? I'll be honest, I'm in that group with the exception of being accountable. A lot of people will have excuses and say when they don't meet their goal of hitting the gym 3 times a week, uh, life got busy. Okay. You hear these types of examples in different contexts, whether it be in communication with somebody else. Oh, I couldn't get to you because of this, because, oh, I just got overwhelmed, or I couldn't make it over to this location because of traffic or different contexts aside from that. And those are examples there of a lack of accountability.
100%, man. I mean, even if you got to go to the gym, you get your workout in, man. You can't make it to the gym, then get a workout in some kind of way. You can make it to the park. You can work out at home. If you know you're not going to make it to the gym that often, start buying weights and start buying workout equipment for the house. Hold yourself accountable for your own actions. That way, you're not missing your workouts just because you're missing the gym. You know what I
Right.
mean? You're still getting your work in. You're still
Right.
abiding by the code. You're still living by the rule that you designed for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Like Chalk's saying right now, you have a multitude of different options to ensure that you are still achieving your physical fitness goals. But even before that, I want to highlight that a way to express when you don't, meet your 3 times a week to the gym is to say that, hey, you know what? I messed up. And because I didn't manage my time well, right? Hi, Cold Boy. Because I didn't put together a solid routine, because I didn't prepare my gym bag this morning. That is the reason why I didn't make it to the gym versus something vague as a rationale for not meeting your goal. That's when it becomes lack of accountability, right? And so,
Yeah, I've been working too much. I can't make it to the gym, man. I be too tired after work. I can't go get. I can't work out, man. My girl won't let me work out, man. She want all my free time. Excuses,
exactly.
excuses, excuses.
Yep, exactly. And the
Excuses you wouldn't tell your boss.
I mean, you wouldn't be able to get away with it. It would just result in a write-up, right? And
Yeah,
then of enough
yeah,
write-ups, you
yeah.
get
You would
fired.
still suffer those consequences. You would
Right.
suffer those consequences.
Exactly. Exactly. So to short yourself personally of that same accountability, you do yourself a lot of harm. And what that does is it creates a habit of not being accountability. And as we know, habits are such a fickle thing. When you create them either in a positive or a negative way, it's sort of like a snowball effect, right? So if you're creating vague excuses for why you're not reaching certain goals or adhering to certain commitments, then you're going to see a snowball effect. And that snowball effect is definitely something to keep an eye out because it can become dangerous, especially if it's negative in regards to accountability.
Yeah, and usually accountability, if it's negative, like I said, folks, is kryptonite. You know, you won't touch it. You know what I mean? You gonna act like Superman, and it's deadly or something like that. You know,
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And
negative
to
accountability is
mhm.
not good for anyone, at least when it comes to your feelings. But that's just for that part. Anxiety is a real thing, people.
Honestly, anxiety is definitely. And be sure to refer to episode 7 of my podcast, and we can talk more about anxiety if that is an obstacle right there holding you back from accountability. And to tie in, how does something like a gym routine and accountability, how does that tie into your physical health? Well, obviously, your gym routine affects your physical health in terms of your mobility, in terms of your cholesterol levels, in terms of your cardiovascular health, and all those different things, including the release of your endorphins. And those things affect you on a physical level. And that goes for anything that you are in need of being held accountable to that affects your physical health, right? So that's how accountability is connected to your physical health. Yes. Anything to add on that, the topic of physical health and accountability, Chuck, before we move on? Looks like we're having a little bit of a connectivity issue, but I think you're coming back. Let's see. Oh, wait a second. I'll let you know when you're back. Hello, you there?
Oh, damn.
No, then you're back. You're back. I think.
Okay, you can hear me now.
Okay, you're back. Yes. So I was asking. Oh,
I'm back.
Yeah, your voice is clear now. Yes. Okay, Cold Boy. I appreciate you being here and keeping me tabbed in the meantime. Let's talk about the physical connection to accountability. Do you agree, Chalk? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, man, but I heard you when you were
Yeah.
saying all the physical things about accountability, but I think you forgot the most important part.
Oh, what is it?
Man, the real physical thing that help you with it helps you look good, man. You get sexy. You feel good when you look good. It's just crazy work how what it does to your body psychologically and physically. You know what I mean? At the same damn time. I think we got to emphasize this because it's such a real good feeling. You know what I mean? When you look real good and you got your ab poking out and your traps is hitting. You know what I mean? And your deltoids is hitting. It looks good. It feels good. So I just wanted to point that out, man. I can't let you forget that, man. When it comes
Yes,
to
the physical.
the working out benefits and the physical part of it, because man, it feels good to look good, man.
I mean, honestly, I can personally say, being in fitness for many, many years and then falling out of it for just 1 year and getting back into it and starting from such a low point, I have transformed my body, my mind, and yeah, I've definitely gotten a lot more attention in positive ways due to being physically fit. So he's 100% right. You look good, you feel good, and you're able to affect your environment at a greater capacity aside from preventing injuries and etc. It's just the example of physical fitness and accountability, I would say, is a great starting point for everyone who is starting from the ground up with it when it comes to being accountable. It's a great metric and a great topic to start being accountable for, because as he mentioned, you're going to experience profound benefits in addition to learning to be accountable. Yes.
Oh yeah, because again, when you're working out and stuff, and the positive parts of being accountable are all the things people love. You get that anxiety from it, but it's a positive anxiety. So it's a thing that everyone loves to get. When somebody tells you look good and they've been noticing you working out, man, it feels good. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, those positive parts of accountability are always something that no one denies. But when it comes to those negatives, though, when it comes to the kryptonite, you know what I mean? You don't really feel comfortable in those areas. You don't feel comfortable when people were telling you, "Hey, man, you look like you've been slacking off." You know, guys that have been going to the gym for a long time, they understand this. When people start telling them, "Hey,
Yeah.
you
Oh no.
you look real good. And you saw it yourself, and then all of
Uh-oh. I'm losing a little bit of the connectivity.
a sudden you're
Oh no. We'll wait.
you're falling off, man. The securities kick in, man. And somebody starts telling you to,
Hey, try.
that's that. Okay, I had to get off the fucking Wi-Fi. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I hear you better. Can you say that section again? I just for me and for our audience here.
Yeah, it was a lot, but yeah, it's just about the accountability thing, man. The negative part
Got it.
or the
Yeah.
positive part. How people are. What did you miss out?
That just like the last 15 seconds of what you were saying.
Okay, yeah, I was just landing the plane there on the.
The physical.
People are they hold themselves accountable all the time for when they're doing everything right. If they're getting told, yeah, you're looking good when you're working out and stuff. You like to be accountable for that. You're telling people, well, yeah, this is what I've been doing. This is how I've been doing that. But when it comes to the negative part of being accountable, again, the kryptonite nobody likes. The kryptonite is always a bad thing. If you're looking bad, you've been slacking off. You used to work out, when people are telling you, hey, you don't look like you used to look. You don't. You look for excuses. Oh yeah, this is why. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just hold yourself accountable, man. It'll
Yeah.
benefit you.
Exactly. I agree. I mean, you know, aside from, I think that the blame factor and taking it as a personal attack is one of the main reasons why people refuse to be accountable. And it hurts yourself when you're not accountable as well. So I think if people kept those two things in mind, they would be more open to being accountable, right? Um, moving on to
100%.
yeah, 1,000%. By the way, thank you for adjusting signal wise. You're coming out loud and clear.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what was going on, but then I saw it.
Okay, perfect. Psychology and the connection there to accountability, right? And we talked a little bit about it, about how it's tied to self-efficacy. We talked about how when you take ownership, you build resilience, right? And one thing I want to cover, and this is more of what we were talking about when it comes to blaming, is a lot of people will blame external factors for their reasons for not reaching a goal, and also as reasons to not be held accountable for their part in their actions as far as a goal or a particular event, right? And that's a victim mindset, right? And you touched base on it. It can make people have anxiety and depression.
Yeah, to this day, I still blame you for everything. You know what I mean? We lose a game playing video games. Hey, why'd you do that, Kev? You know what I mean? Everything. You know what I mean? So yeah, I understand.
Yeah, exactly. That's true, right? And so you notice how, I'm sure you notice how your anxiety and your depression skyrocketed by blaming me, right?
Oh yeah, before I even blame you. See, that's the reason why I blamed you, because I was like, yo, if I just take the focus off of me, put it on him, and say no, it was his fault, everyone would know.
Right, right. The thing is, not everybody is interested in personal growth. And, I've personally seen this and heard this from people when having a conversation with them, meaning that they say things like, there's nothing I need to change, right? I'm perfect the way I am, which, yes, you can be perfectly imperfect.
They're a 10.
Exactly. I mean, you could be perfectly imperfect, but you have to acknowledge the imperfect part, right? And ideally, if you are somebody who wants the best for yourself and for others around you, you're going to have an improvement sort of mindset, because accountability is a growth mindset. And it's a growth mindset where challenges become opportunities.
Yeah, here's where we're gonna have to disagree, Kev, because
Yeah.
I mean, accountability, right? Because it sounds like you're saying a lot of stuff that hurts my feelings.
I,
That's all I'm gonna say. Because the way everything you just said, it sounds illogical and everything, but yeah, it hurts my feelings. So I'm gonna have to disagree. I don't have to tell you why I disagree. Just know I disagree.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean, I feel like you covered that feelings can be hurt, right? Feelings can be hurt
Yeah.
in relation to accountability. So,
Yeah.
yes.
You hurt my feelings with what you just said, so I don't want to talk about it.
Personal
I'll
attack,
let you
right?
get out what you said.
Feel,
100%.
feeling blamed.
I'm emotionally damaged.
Oh no.
Don't call me a victim, okay? That's the problem here. I heard you say something about a victim mentality, and I don't even want to say what I actually feel, because it's gonna be a victim. It's gonna call me a victim.
I see. Yes, well then I won't. I won't, and I'll just say go back to earlier sections here in this podcast for review as needed. So let's talk about how accountability continues to affect us psychologically, right? Accountability can help us rewire
Perfect
habits.
time to lead into that, right?
Right? Let's lead into that. Let's listen into that there. It can rewire your habits. It can help with that. Techniques like cognitive behavioral therapy, which is a way to work on habits, involves things like journaling your actions, your outcomes. And that's one way you can confront your patterns. So, however you confront your patterns, that's what's going to help you rewire your habits. If you're avoiding responsibility, it could stem from fear of failure or other reasons, other common psychological barriers. But by practicing accountability, you reduce, again, that cognitive dissonance and that uncomfortable gap between what you say and what you do. And the result, ultimately, psychologically, when you do this, is lower stress, higher self-esteem, and better mental health overall.
Okay, Kev. It's 2025 though. Okay, I'm sorry. I gotta speak on it now, because now we're in the emotional part. It's 2025, Kevin. Okay, I gotta be able. If I feel like I'm a 10, okay, and you're telling me I'm not a 10, and it's just I don't know. I just feel like I shouldn't have to work on myself. I shouldn't have to be held accountable for my actions. You know what I mean? If I think that things that I'm doing, I should be able to do and other people should be able to do them, I shouldn't be called a hypocrite for them. Okay, that's just how I feel.
Man, I should have had you and probably our audience members take a Tylenol prior to the start of this podcast, because I know your feelings are hurting right now.
Yeah, they're hurt.
Yes, but it's going to be okay.
You say that now, but okay.
I have faith. I have faith. And speaking of faith,
I'll leave it alone now. I just want to point those things out to you, okay? It's 2025, and no, that's not right, okay? We live in a new time. You're talking about cavemen stuff.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you're not alone in your mindset. And I think that's exactly,
Yeah,
and I love how
reality.
you're, I love how you're
Your
presenting
reality is
that.
not my reality.
True, right? And that is 100% true, right? But, you
The
know,
psychological part.
the psychological part. And yes, definitely different perspectives are important. And if you look into episode 1 of my podcast, Changing the Narrative, I talk more about perspectives and how that works. And so definitely refer to that for those of
100%.
you who want to dive more
And
into
this is
different
this is
perspectives.
and this is also why I say words have meaning, people. You know what I mean? And nowadays, since it's 2025 and this new era we live in, I mean, I can tell him things like, "Hey, well, I don't like the way that sounds. It didn't make me feel right. It's just the way you said it. It doesn't matter the words you said. I don't want to hear that. It doesn't matter if it's true. I'm not going to change." And some people, you can be accountable just for your actions. And yeah, you don't have to change. I'm not telling you to have to change. I'm just saying that if you want to be better and do better, everyone can improve. Same thing he said. It's not, you can be a 10, you can be, hey, be a 10, but be
Right.
a better 10.
Yeah, if that's the way that you have to look at it perspective wise, there's nothing wrong with that, even. Right? Just be a better 10. It really comes down to, the thing about saying like you're a 10, right? Is it's rooted to self esteem and self confidence, right? You're saying that 10, you're a 10 because you're confident, you want to maintain your self esteem. And accountability is not designed to hurt your self esteem or to say that you're not amazing. And I think that that's one thing that is the first thing that people look at when it comes to accountability and its impact on themselves, right? And it even affects you spiritually. And it has a spiritual dimension, right? That's often overlooked. In many spiritual traditions, accountability is about alignment with your higher self or the universe, right? Think of karma or different Eastern philosophies. What you put out comes back. So owning your own actions, right, is also key, not only to improving, but to your own spiritual growth.
Yeah, man, because it's accountability in America. You know what I mean? I forgot what I was gonna say because I was focused on that first part of
Yeah,
what you
no.
said. Then I started listening to the
Oh,
rest, and
about being a
I
10,
forgot what I
about
was gonna talk about.
if you're, I was talking about like if you're a 10 and that I feel like people take when you're being held accountable as an attack on their self confidence, which is why they feel so strongly the need to say, I'm a 10, I'm this and that, right? Is that more of what you were going to respond to, that first section there?
Yeah, their confidence, but again, I forgot what I was gonna say because I started listening to the rest and then I got lost in my thought. But anyways, but yeah, the confidence thing is definitely real for me when it comes to uh people and their emotions and their feelings things because again, that's the psychological field part of it. In your head, you can think whatever you want, but reality says another thing. Then that's just reality, folks. Being accountable for your own actions. If you're doing something, if you're thinking these things, if it's your reality and it's not the objective reality,
Mm-hmm.
you're just trying not to hold yourself accountable for your actions. You're trying to look for an escape route. Just be accountable.
Yeah, America, come on now. Yep.
Yeah, because in America we do it all, man. They don't. We're not accountable for our own actions on a whole nother level. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we're weird, and we're the police of America. I mean, we're the police of the world. America is so.
Right.
We do a lot of things, and we're not accountable for our actions because we don't fix a lot of the problems that we say we're going to fix, which is a lot of things that people do. That's why it's the culture. It's indoctrinated us to think the way we are because of the things we see right here. in America.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to add to that insight, and that one of those facets too is we idolize role models who don't portray examples of accountability, who don't portray examples of morality. And then we sit and we wonder why, if since we're uplifting these people and putting them on a pedestal, why we have so much discord in our own personal lives, right?
Oh yeah, man. That's what I said earlier. The culture runs America, and the culture, it's not ethical.
Nope. Not at all.
The culture is those people that you guys see that are at the top of the fame on everything. You know what I mean? Your favorite artists in every way, your favorite athletes in every way. They promote it so you see it, and that's what you're going to be influenced by. So that's what you're more likely to lean to, and that's what runs America in the wrong directions.
True. Yeah. A lot of
They're
us,
all ran by puppets.
yeah. And it takes a strong mind to be able to resist that. And not everybody has that strong mind. Everybody thinks they do, but only a rare few people do have that strong mind. So that's why it's so important to be accountable to what you listen, what you take in, and what you reciprocate in terms of these role models, in terms of these influences that you see predominating our current culture in America, which on the ground has not done us a lot of good.
Oh yeah, man. People are sheep, man. I'm sorry, guys. People are sheep. It's rare to find the ones that are ghosts. People are sheep. I actually sit outside or look outside my window every night. You know how people used to count sheep? I count cars because that's the that's the sheep now. Those people in those cars. Those people walking by. That's sheep. You just count them and go to sleep.
Yeah, you can see it when you're driving and the way people behave in traffic conditions, things like that. Or if you go to like a huge grocery store, the way people are not considerate of their interactions in their environment, and their lack of consideration, and willing to cut lines, willing to cut people off, or take a product from someone, maybe even an elderly lady, or things like that that stem to morality, how it's gone. Those are the sheep, right?
Oh yeah, and the people that just go out and buy everything because everyone else is buying that same thing and they never heard about it, but they see everybody else getting it. Those are sheep. Followers are what I mean by sheep, folks. If you're just following something to follow something, and it's not what you actually feel and love or believe in, you're probably a sheep. It's not disrespectful. I say that respectfully because most people are sheep, and like I said earlier, the general rules they make the rules. So hey,
Right.
but
Right, exactly. So accountability, in a spiritual sense, encourages that you're mindful, right? And that's how you can kind of snap out of being a sheep, right? Because accountability amplifies mindfulness, right? When you're present, when you're not hiding from truths, then you can be accountable, right? Practicing on things like meditation, which I'm a huge fan of, is one way that you can practice mindfulness. But really, however you practice mindfulness, I think that is one huge step to being able to view accountability as a path to enlightenment and divine purpose. And that's what allows you to transform spiritually in particular. It's not a punishment, it's freeing you from the weight of unresolved actions.
free your mind and the rest will follow.
That's true.
Sorry.
No, I love it. That's eloquently put, eloquently saying. And so I feel like we've done a great job connecting the dots of how accountability affects you on a physical level, on a psychological level, and a spiritual level, right? So if you're somebody who is struggling with accountability, which is like all of you pretty much, not gonna lie, right? Many of us, including myself, there's so many different levels in my own life right now that I'm still holding myself accountable to, right? So
Emotional damage.
a huge emotional damage right now. So to make progress towards being a more accountable person, wherever you are on the ladder of being an accountable person, it's important to set small goals. Start small, right? Like, for example, drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning, right? Start with being accountable for something like that, right? Write things down, right? One of my episodes, I want to say episode 5 or 4 of my podcasts involves goals, and we can talk a little bit about that more later in the future. But refer to that episode, and because that really ties in here, keeping your journal, and by using setting goals, you're able to hold yourself accountable.
Yeah, you guys, I'm trying to be nice here because man, I've got some views about accountability you wouldn't believe. Just because I hold people to a higher standard because the world's going to shit, man. At least here in America. So yeah, but I agree with this man.
Yes. Secondly, right, it can be helpful to find a partner to hold you accountable, right? Share your goals with a friend or share your goals with a partner.
Bro, hold on. You can't say that to women. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Because when you have someone to hold you accountability, your success rate of sticking to accountability and that improvement ratio goes up tremendously. So find somebody that can walk with you on a particular goal, on a particular path, right? Third, practice reflection regularly, right? Start with at the end of each day, what did I commit to? Did I deliver? Why did I deliver? Or why did I not deliver? Thinking in this way is going to help you with reflection and builds your self-awareness and allows you to turn mistakes into lessons.
100%. Know your why in everything you do. When I say know your why, I mean know why you're doing everything you do. You know, that means just do everything for a reason. If you can't think of a rhyme or a reason to do it, I don't care if it's, hey, it was to have fun. If you weren't having fun doing it, don't waste your time doing it again. Just do everything for a reason. That's it.
100%.
Know your why.
Know your why. And that's important. Because knowing your why helps you understand your values. And that's what it's all about, tying it to your values. If health is your priority, remind yourself how skipping that walk dishonors your commitment to vitality. Make it something that's personal so that your why is so compelling that you actually move forward, move towards being accountable, ultimately improving to become that better 10 for those of you who are very sensitive about accountability.
Preach. But I use that know your why, folks. A lot of y'all probably gonna know what that is, man. 8 Steps to Success. You know what I mean? If y'all know that book, if you don't know that book, check it out.
Check it out. 100%. I agree, and I'm gonna do the same. I haven't looked into that. I'm gonna go ahead and give that a read, Chalk. Thank you so much. Again, Chalk is the host of a wonderful podcast called wonderful platform, I should say, called It's a Clown World. It's where he brings a lot of questions and topics related to the world and our current climate here in America and says, let's talk about it.
Yeah, tell them the truth, man. It's very controversial. You know what I mean? We talk about the hot topics. We talk about things that people are not talking about. Why? Because it might hurt their feelings. But you know, in a clown world, we don't give a damn about your feelings, okay? Because it's a clown ass world. You know what I mean? We already live here. So it's time to tell you clown ass people the truth. Yeah, it's reality based. We deal with facts. We get down to the numbers. It's not just your opinion. We don't care about opinions over here. It's facts that we're feeling. So again, come on down to the clown world. We're gonna have Kev come down to the podcast, check us out. Hopefully videos coming soon. We're gonna try to get some shorts out there. It's gonna be popping. It's gonna be popping.
It's 100%. I'm excited, and I love the engagement that I see through those he's talking with out on his different platforms. It's a lot of fun. So definitely look, I'll post some links on my social media and in different places so you guys can go ahead and connect to his platform and learn from the things that he's talking about, because that's really what the things that he brings up as far as topics of conversation invokes is learning and growth, and a lot of times accountability.
Yeah, last thing I gotta say, man, the learning thing. I'm glad you said that. Accountability, folks. Learning and knowledge is power. Forget the money. You can find a rich guy, and if you're smart enough, any woman can school his ass out his money. You know what I mean? If it's learning shit is power. You can do anything once you learn how to do it. So I just wanted to say that because accountability ties a lot into knowledge, a lot.
100% knowledge for the soul. Definitely. And about accountability too. And I think this is where people get caught in the blame and maybe they feel bad. Forgive yourself. Okay? Accountability and pointing out your imperfections isn't about holding on to feeling like you messed up. You need to forgive yourself, acknowledge what happened, and then learn. And then you can move on, right? You don't need to be very harsh about your criticisms either.
I already forgive myself every time I do some shit. You know what I mean? Every time I'm not accountable for my actions, I forgive myself every time. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's like, hey, well, somebody tell me I fucked up. Yeah, okay, I fucked up. But really, I told you already. It was Kev. Anyway, that's a whole nother story.
I was just gonna say I do pre-forgiveness, pre-forgiveness. So that means before I even realize that I messed up, I've already forgiven myself, right? So I stack about like 5 or 6 pre-forgivenesses. So when Chalk calls me out and blames me, I don't even get to that phase of feeling bad about messing up. I'm pre-forgiven.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Every fucking time.
Yep.
Kev's lighter than me, so it's easier for me to blame him. If he goes to jail, he'll be there for a short amount of time.
It's true, but he knows I probably have the best chance in the courtroom because I'm very articulate. So it's just easier to blame me, right?
Yeah, he'll use big words.
Like metacognitive, you know.
Exactly.
So the big bingo question, which at this point, if you don't already know this, we're going to summarize it as we wrap up this episode here today. Why bother with all this? Why do you think people should bother with all this, Chuck?
Being accountable?
Yeah, why should we even bother with all this stuff we just talked about? Like, why? Why would I want to invite this to my day? It's stressful.
Bruh, for one, I already told you, it's 2025. I don't have to be accountable for shit. That's you, okay? You're the one that wants to go over there and be accountable. I have feelings, okay? And if you hurt my feelings, telling me some shit, I'm not going to be accountable for my actions, okay? That's it.
Exactly. I love that. I love that. The devil's advocate. Yes.
But that's why I feel like we got to talk about this shit because there's things like that. People don't want to be accountable. This is just me. This is again. This is my opinion. Okay, folks. My feelings. Where you have. Okay, my opinion on this is that people, since they don't want you to bother their feelings, they don't want you to disrupt the delusional fantasy world they're living in. They don't want you to hurt their feelings and tell them what the hell reality is. So if you say something that they don't see as reality for them, you're gonna piss them off. And if you piss them off, your feelings could hurt their emotion. They could be emotionally damaging. Okay, it could be emotional abuse. Will you? Okay.
Yeah.
They might try to kick your ass. Okay, it could go to blows because you hurt their feelings. Okay, we know someone who got killed recently for hurting people's feelings, but that's a whole other story. But all I'm saying is, hey, we got to stop being emotional and be accountable for your own actions, but still watch what you say because there's people out there that are delusional and shit, and they're delusional to the level if you fuck up their reality, you could be harmed for it.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely true. The points that you're making, and something for people to think about as they navigate the complexity of accountability in the current climate that we have here in America. And the reason why people should bother with this is that the benefits are massive. Massive. You're talking about consistent habits being formed. You're talking about reduced anxiety, sharper focus, stronger relationships, increased trust, peace, purpose, and a deeper connection to your inner world. All those benefits that come from undertaking this endeavor.
Yeah, 100% agree, man. I couldn't agree with you more. But the thing is, you're only telling them the positives. They
Yeah.
don't want the negatives, man. The kryptonite, bro. Tell them about the kryptonite now, play. Don't tell them about the kryptonite, man. Don't fucking leave.
Right. And stay a little bit more. We got a little bit more knowledge. Don't leave just yet. I know some of you want to leave because this is tough, because it's disrupting your reality, the kryptonite. And as we wrap up this episode here, just remember that accountability is not a burden. It's your superpower, okay? Start today. Take one small step at a time. Watch how it transforms your health, your mind, and your spirit, okay? Thank you so much, Chalk, for being here as a guest on this episode of Knowledge for the Soul. I very much appreciate you, and it's been an absolute pleasure having you.
Always, man. I'll be here anytime, man. It was good meeting y'all. Holla at me. It's a clown world. You know what I mean? Facts over feelings. Get back at me.
Yep. Look it up, you guys, and I'll be posting links so that we can all tune in and participate in his platform, It's a Clown World, where he brings real definitions and conversational topics that simply just need to be discussed. And facts over opinions are a dominating factor in his platform, and that's what makes it so special and evokes learning. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today's episode for Knowledge for the Soul. And for being here as we discussed accountability. If any of this resonates with you or you learn something, please pass it on and share it, because we have a bit of an epidemic in this country with accountability. So thank you so much, everybody.